Let me know when you are seeing my screen. So in this week, we will try to finish things such that you all will be able to apply for a job. What it means is we started learning these things, right? We completed this part, this part, this part, this part, also this, and in last class completed this.
Completed identity and
This is left. We will do this, but first we'll learn this one, and then we'll learn the monitoring alert, the alerting dashboard, that part, and then you will be ready for applying job. Any job, any job. This is more than sufficient for applying job up to 10 to 12 years of experienced developer. Uh, Not just DevOps, but you are a developer, either front end and back end, and this cloud and knowledge is sufficient for any job and to work in that job.
even I can apply.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because I am thinking so. Because right now I am in RMG, so I have a better edge of serving less notice period
Yeah, you can.
until unless I am getting a project.
Correct. So you can apply. There's no problem. And there will be some things about the Docker and Kubernetes that we will also learn in upcoming weeks. But after this week, you can apply for jobs. So today we will learn about the other world. Like we all know that Microsoft has two worlds. One is the portal where we go and manually create resources. We create resources in any part of the world we want, and we pay charges accordingly according to the usage in whichever part of the world we want to create that resource. So we saw we created app service storage account, vnet, subnet, many things we created resource groups, and we deleted them. We also created database connected to that. So all those things we do from here. But the whole project management and code of development, testing, automation, deployment automation is done from another portal called dev.azure.com. So when you go to this URL aex.dev.azure.com or on Google, just type Azure DevOps login. It will take you to the screen where it will ask your name, email, and other details. You have to fill your own account, Microsoft account, and then you have to click on create organization. So what this means is, I will explain you. So here, let me not take this one. There was a better one. So here, whenever you're working for an organization or company, so what happens is that that organization or the company is having many projects that belongs to one organization. Let's say if I say one company, doesn't matter which company, you can take any client you worked for. Let's say you worked for a European client, or you work for a US based client, or you work for an Indian client also, doesn't matter. Example, this is your client, let's say this is Bank of America. Then Bank of America has many department. Credit card, they sell credit card. They have bank accounts. Then they have what, loan department. They sell loan, insurance, investment like stocks and other things, FDs, bonds, all this they sell. And all these are different departments where in each department there are multiple business people, but also under each department there are multiple DevOps, Agile, Scrum team working for dev department developing software. But Bank of America sells products to its end customers as a one app, one software, one app. So any customer who comes, he doesn't see all this. There are many teams, many departments, many things, but for end customer, it is one. Like you use ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank. Under the hood, there are many things happening. But what you see is just ICICIbank.com or HDFCbank.com, and there, when you log in, one tab will be credit card, one FD, one accounts, one transactions, one UPI, and you can just click. But under the hood, there are many, 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 many teams working, many, many, many developers are working, many business people are sitting who clarify the requirements, many testers are working, and all of them have to work together seamlessly to provide the complete functionality for that particular organization. So here, every organization should be like this. One organization, then under that, one team, one project, then another project, another team, another project, another team, another project, another team. Each project does many sprints, multiple sprints of delivery, agile scrum, and each team will have its own CI/CD with what they develop every sprints. They build, they get requirement, they develop that, they test it, they build it, then they deploy it. So the CI/CD pipeline is there. This team, when it puts something in production, this team, let's say, they also have their incident management. When incident comes, they get alerts, incidents, monitoring, they fix it. Same, this team is doing, that team is doing, that team is doing. So imagine a big housing colony, big housing colony, where from outside somebody sees just, okay, this is just a railway housing colony, let's say. But inside that, there are similar types of duplexes built. Each duplex has some members of family living. Everyone is going to job every day. That's railway job because this is railway housing complex and coming back home. They have kids, they give to daycare, their wives, some are housewives, some are going outside. Same way the company works. But at the end of the day, all of them has to live together in here without causing any problem. And if there is any incident or issue happening in this house first has to handle it. Incident management, DevOps, consider it that way. If it is not getting managed, it gets escalated to, let's say, who is the in charge. And if not getting managed, the owner, and then the big community gets involved. Same way in the organization. Is it clear how agile or DevOps works? It's all
Yeah, it's clear.
related to your real world, what you do in the real world. It is exactly same what happens in the company. So now, in everyday task, what this team has to do, they have to manage somewhere, right? What is their roadmap for next 6 months? Where will they write those? So they maintain something called as backlog. And in backlog, they write things for the next 6 months or 1 year, what they will do. Then they break it down into smaller items, epics, episodes, user stories. Then they work on them. After it's done, they follow the CI/CD process to deploy it to an environment, dev, test, acceptance, production. All these teams do the same thing in every department or every team. So this person who is the owner of Bank of America sitting in, let's say, California wants to now know how are my teams performing in the last 3 months. Then he can, if the data is everywhere synced properly, then he can see, okay, this team burned 20 story point, but this team only 17. This team 50 points, this 40 points. So this person who is the boss can get the easy view if everything is maintained properly. Then he will just query one thing and he will get which teams are non-performing. He wants to check how many commits or heat maps of commits of a particular department and in that for a particular team. He can do that. He can check all the commits. Why? Because the system is set up that way. And this is that system. When let's say Bank of America or HDFC Bank or anyone is setting a DevOps board, here I have entered my account details, but they will enter their account details for the first time. They will create an organization. And this organization is real, the real organization. Here it will be written HDFC Bank or Bank of America, and it will link to a subscription. Why? This is the subscription which allows it to for billing purpose, because this is the subscription we also created. Remember, this is the account we created, Azure account we created, right? And this is Azure subscription one. See, starting with ID CCE, the same in the same subscription, CCE, Azure subscription one, you link your Azure board. Otherwise, you can also create a new subscription. So let's say this account is of HDFC Bank, who is the IT department of. And then HDFC Bank is also going and creating an account on dev.azure.com. So now it is asking what is the organization name. They will enter HDFC Bank. For now, I kept by default took it from my email. I can change it. Now it will create the organization. Big organization will be created. Under that organization, then we will have multiple teams. Multiple teams related to credit card, multiple teams related to uh, regular banking, multiple teams for loans, mortgage, all comes under this Bank of America organization. At this case, it's my organization. I have kept it as Ranjan Pandit 2006 organization. So it is setting up that complete organization now. Now it is telling me create a project. See, in this organization, this is one organization. I can continue to create multiple organization in the same subscription, which means if you consider Tata as a group, you can consider Tata as a group. Underneath, TCS is a organization. Tata Motors is another organization. Tata Elxsi is another organization. Tata Tech is another organization. So in this organization, again you can create projects, blocks. It is to that level you can manage things in this. Understood? This is one level only, but let's say this is another group level. So here it's asking me to create a project under, let's say this is HDFC Bank. What if I can also create new organization which is HDFC AMC, and then I can manage them also. Is it clear?
So, from organization to the projects, we have a many-to-many relationship, correct?
Yeah,
Multiple organization may have multiple projects associated.
of course. It's common sense, right? Because different vendors are working for each organization.
Okay.
So here now I will say we have been following this, right? Inventory team. So I will give the name as inventory project only. Project name is, let's say, inventory, or you can give any name. Usually people give like block. They will say block team. They call it as block 00001234. Similarly, they follow this naming convention, and then they can say it is inventory team. So let's say I will create this project. Now it is creating one project. Similarly, I can create multiple projects. I will show you that. So this is one project under this organization, means one team. Then I can create here new project. This is another team, let's say block, and this is, let's say, related to orders. They take care of all the orders in the e-commerce. So one organization, multiple blocks. So if I go to the organization level, I see multiple blocks. I can similarly create new organization, another organization, and continue to create blocks inside it. But it is already more than sufficient. You work for only one company, right? You work for only one client, correct? And then in that one project, or you work for ICICI Bank also, HDFC Bank also. Do you work like that? Or let's say at any point of time, either you are working for TCS or you are working for Tata Motors or you are working for Tata Elxsi. Are you working for all four together? Never, right?
No, not at all.
So that's common sense. So now let's say
Is
that
it true for freelancers also? About
everyone,
contractual based employees?
yes, every employee, because now in this block, I can add people who are belonging to this block or team. Block means team, project. So let's say there are five developers, one tester, one business analyst, one product owner. They all can be invited here. I can invite them and they will join this project, which means anything that happens in this project, only those people can see. So, what are the things that can happen in this project? Boards, repos, pipelines, test plans, artifacts. You see? Exactly same. The other team, there is an orders team. That team will have different set of people who will be working as developers, testers, BA, and they will also have their own boards, their own repositories, own pipelines, own testing plans, artifacts. Understood how the whole company organization gets set up? Any doubt?
So, so one particular person is associated with only one project of a one particular organization.
Yeah, it can be possible that he works on other multiple projects, but then he has to be given access rights to come and access.
Yeah.
And either the
As
dev,
I remember, yeah, as I remember, when I was working for insurance client, we had around 2 to 3 organization, and inside one organization, I was assigned only one project to
exactly.
create the pipeline or anything.
Yes. So what does DevOps and pipelines mean? We can automate everything from code to cloud. What does it mean? It simply means you store your code here, dev.azure.com, and deploy on an app service on this portal.azure.com via pipeline. So now from code, you are storing code here, right? You are coming to cloud. And this is exactly any company will ask you in interview. How was your Azure DevOps board setup? How was your user storage setups? Where were your repositories? What were the pipelines? How were you managing your test plans? How was your tester? Where was he keeping the test plans? Where were the artifact stores? How were you running the pipelines here so that it gets deployed to an app service there? What were the stages of your pipeline? All those questions they ask. So now, if you go to dashboard, which is like this, now there is nothing here. You can create add widgets and you can create all kinds of statistics. How which developer is doing how many commits in sprint, or which developer has burned how many user story points. Everything you can add a widget. See, and you can create those burn down, burn up charts. Everything can be tracked. Everything gets tracked. So if we say that things are not getting tracked, it's wrong. Everything gets tracked. Big organization like here, the boss will see everything. Here, let's say Ratan Tata or people like that would like to see how their whole organizations are working. So these tools helps them. Now let's go to the slide. So we saw what is Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is nothing but just another portal from where we can do everything, manage code, build, deploy, test, automate, everything we can do. So the Azure DevOps, the complete factory, there is a factory where all the development and shipping of software will happen. What are the requirement, which is who is working on what user story, and then which branch code I am going to commit, where all those will be here, and you will ship software from here. So analogy, Azure DevOps is like a car
It means
factory.
deploying to server.
What is a server?
Server is a software which gives services.
No, not correct. Till now we were creating servers, right? What we were creating? What was this app service? What was that virtual machine? All these were servers. Here, in this app service, let's say I will create an app service. Earlier, I was just uploading the code here, right? Manually. I will not be doing that anymore. I will be keeping the code here. From here, I will run a pipeline. It will go build the pipeline and deploy my code here. Got it?
Okay.
This is how it works in companies. So, if you click on repos, here you will find everything around. Like in Git, you have, right? So, we'll put our code here, and then we will create a branch. We will do coding, development, everything here, and then there is here pipelines. You will create a pipeline and run that pipeline for each front end, for each back end. There will be separate pipelines. When you create the run the pipelines, it will go and try to deploy to the right app service, the code. Here are different pipelines. This is how pipeline looks. Let's say this is the pipeline for Spring Boot. This is how we will write the pipelines. So it will, when we will put the code here, anything gets triggered in the main branch or feature branch, this pipeline will get triggered, and Ubuntu image, all the other stages, build stage will happen. It will download the code from XYZ place where we will say it will do Maven. It will then do the copy of the files from the target to the right folder, and then it will try to deploy that into a Azure Web App Service, which will be somewhere. So we'll see all this. So this is a file that tells कहाँ से उठाना है कोड, कोड के साथ क्या 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 करना है और कहाँ पे डालना है. समझ में आया? Is it clear?
So we can, with the help of this pipeline, we can deploy it to some other third-party software as well, correct? If we do service connection.
Yeah. Yes, you can. You can do build CI here, CD somewhere else. That's also fine. So here you can
Okay.
get the code from Git, from GitHub, from Bitbucket. There are many other places. These are the things which they ask actually. Why? If you go and search for any job description, you will find all this will they will be asking you. Because no one is interested in just coding. What will you do by coding? Copilot is doing that for us. So now here, Azure DevOps is just considered like a car factory where raw materials, which are the code, go in one end, and then after testing, quality checks, assembly happens, which is continuous integration, continuous delivery, CI/CD. And a finished car gets deployed on an app service or a Kubernetes cluster or a virtual machine, doesn't matter what is the server, and comes out automatically. So this process is automation. And what are these? So here if you see, this what are the different services available in Azure DevOps. We are already seeing that. What are the services? Board, repos, pipelines, test plans, artifacts. The same thing is mentioned here. Azure repos, boards, pipelines, artifacts, test plan. Repos, the name says you will store the code here. It's same as GitHub. Azure board, everything related to project management, work item creation, assignment, who is working on what task, who is fixing what bug, everything gets tracked here. Other alternatives open, so the different private tools are Jira or Trello. Pipelines, automation of your code build and deployment with different stages. But here in the outside world, Jenkins or GitHub Actions can also do that. Azure Artifact, the output of your build, CI/CD build, you want to store somewhere. It can be a npm or out artifact. It can be a Java jar. It can be a Docker image. You can store them here. In the outside world, then it's the npm registry or Maven central registry. Then we have Azure Test Plan. The testers who write the testing plans, they store it here. And the outside world, it's test trail. It's alternative. So this is what we have to do. We already did. We went to dev.azure.com, sign it, create a new organization. In the new organization, we created one project, made it private, book it, and click create project. Left side, we see these menus. Then we have what is the difference between DevOps and GitHub? What does the difference between Azure DevOps and Azure GitHub? So code hosting in Azure DevOps, code can be stored in Azure repos, but in GitHub, it is called GitHub repos. How do you do CI/CD pipelines in Azure? You do it with Azure pipelines. In GitHub, you do it with GitHub Actions. Work tracking, all the project management, Azure boards. Here you do it with Azure GitHub issues or projects. You must have seen already in the GitHub. Means you can do everything in GitHub already. But companies choose this one, Azure. Packages, where you store them, the artifact. It's Azure artifacts or GitHub packages. And this is what best for enterprise teams full. And this GitHub is for open source developers. Okay, so but then if you develop an Azure pipeline, you can connect it to GitHub repos also. So it will pick up from there. We will see that. So now if I want to store the
Azure, so Azure Artifacts is just like you can say registry where we can store packages and Docker images.
right, you can store all those artifacts, built artifacts there so that you can use it later on. Okay, let's see what has changed here. Okay, now what I will do is this is our front end and this is our back end, right? So first we have to do some learning, very important. Azure Repos is place, of course, where we can keep our code, but before that, Azure Boards is also something important. All the project planning, agile process of project tracking, who is doing working on what story, where we are today now in this sprint, all those text gets tracked here. So Azure board is like a just analogy surfing competition planner. You have a big wall board with sticky notes, work item that move from to do to in progress to done as a team does the work. Agile process, how that work? In agile process, we have epic, which is nothing but a large body of work spanning months, many months of work. You can categorize it as epic. Let's example, an epic can be when there is somebody, let's say somebody is developing a new Zomato app. So one of the example of the epic can be how will the user log in, log out, and maintain session. All other details inside that, let's say feature, it is a chunk of an epic, small. It's a weeks of work, multiple sprints. Like in now in the authentication system, login page will be there, password reset, forgot password, or let's say sign up page will be there. All those are different features. User story, it is even smaller than feature. Like as a user, I can log in with email. Another user story can be as a user, I should be able to log in with OTP also. As a user, I should be able to log in with, let's say, two-factor authentication. All these are related to feature login only, but there are three different user stories. As a user, I should be able to log in using Google. Then task. In each user stories, you define multiple tasks which you develop every day. Like for implementing things, as a user, I can log in with email. You have to create an HTML form. You have to create basically a React.js component. Then you have to create a backend API endpoint. You have to create a database query. Then you have to implement those, and you have to write unit test for backend. You have to write unit test for front end. You have to integrate the front end and backend. Then the tester needs to do the testing. All these are different tasks, and each task takes some steps. Creating the UI will take, let's say, 4 hours or 6 hours. So one task you can create. Developing the backend endpoint, another 6 hours for another task. The creating the SQL query, a DB database, and there another 4 hours or 6 hours, so 8 hours. Then finally build and deploy to so that tester can test it, running the CI/CD pipeline, other things. So that's another few hours. So you create under one user story multiple tasks. Bug. Let's say you already implemented it and the user story was deployed to production. And then you got some kind of user complaining that for me this is not working when I click. So a bug comes up. Then you create a separate bug task and then you fix them and deploy it. So how does this sprint work was? Sprint basically there's a product backlog. All the work that needs to be done is prioritized here. Then there's sprint backlog. In 2 weeks, each sprint is of 2 weeks. What work you will do gets put here. Sprint board, it's a Kanban board where you can say drag drop task from to do column to in progress to done. Every day during the daily stand up, you discuss about this. Sprint review, at the end of the sprint, you show what you as a team did to the business stakeholders or product owners. Retrospective, you discuss at the end of the sprint in a meeting what went well, what could have been improved, and what could be better next time. And this is how you create all those on the portal. Each item, how you create in the board, in the Azure board, like by going here, boards. I will show you that backlog, sprints. You see this? So if I go to boards, see to do, doing, done. You every day you move tasks from here to here as developers. Every person will have a turn and you remove tasks here.